today we are off. I'm saying this is an off day because we're not out driving around, but we are not off at home. We're doing our gardening today. So today we're going to be transplanting some frost hardy greens into our pots here. So we have some pots here. And these are just Home Depot buckets. These cost about $5 at the store. $5, yeah. And they are great for planting.
You got to drill holes in the bottom of them, though.
Remember to do that.
Drown your plants.
So my husband is going to fill these up, and we got some potting soil here. So these already had soil in them, and we're going to add some conditioner here and some, what is this?
Oh, this is cow manure.
Manure.
Animal dung and humus.
Yes.
Which is like beans. So it's like protein and nitrogen. So, and these are like the ones we've been using, the Scots, and these are like basically 3 for $10.
Yeah, and they help to break your soil down and make it more suitable for your planting. Okay, so he's going to fill those up. He's going to put like some of the conditioner and then some of the manure. And then we also have planters here that we're going to fill up. There's one there. There's one there. Let's go down this way here. And then we also have one here. And there's also one over there. So we are just now, we put down some grass seed as well. So that should be popping up soon. All right, so I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so here are some of our transplants. Now, I've been hardening these off now for a while, and they are ready to go into the pots. Now, the reason why I'm going to pot these now outdoors is because they're frost hardy. Spinach actually grows sweeter when it's colder, okay? And they can go out in about like 28-degree weather. So it's safe to plant your spinach, your lettuces. Let's see what else we got over here. The kamatsuna. We have some collard greens and cauliflower. And kale is in here too. There's a mixture. So like I said, you want to harden them off. Let's just sit them outside for at least 7 days, for a couple hours a day, letting them get used to the wind that's blowing and the weather conditions that are outdoors, outside of your home or your greenhouse. So, okay, so we're going to be potting these next. Okay, so we are like choosing how we're going to lay these out. So we're going to do kamatsuna, spinach, collards. I think kamatsuna, spinach, and then kale in this last one. So we're basically just going to take our potted plants here, and these are supposed to be biodegradable, but they do not come off. So you're going to have to peel this off and plant your plants individually, which we'll show you how you're going to do that next. So we're putting those first, laying them out how we're going to do them, and then we're going to pot them. Okay, so you want to dig a hole big enough for your plant here. Just empty it out of the biodegradable pot, which is not really biodegradable.
And dig the hole where it's going to be right at the surface.
And then you push it down with your hands to secure it so the roots can they can actually take root.
You get in between it and you press down. It's like a skin. You want it to be sealed into the ground. And that's kamatsuna, right? All right.
I'm gonna do it again so you can see. Let's get a close up here.
Dig your hole about the size of this pot. And you can measure it like that. And by the time you press it down, it should be just
press it down.
Flush with the surface and sealed. Remember, this dirt is the skin. Yeah.
And that is the kamatsuna. All right, then we're gonna go over to our spinach, and then this one we have to break apart. There are 2 in each container, and I might be able to reuse those since you didn't rip it apart.
Yeah.
Because I still got to get sunflowers in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our spinach. He's gonna take that out, and then sometimes they can be bound to the pot because they like to grow into the pots here.
And you just gently see how the root systems was perfectly separated.
And that's why I put them on opposite sides of the pots there.
I'm gonna dig that hole more shallow. put it here, and then you'll be able to, it won't get all the way.
Well, you want to dig it deep because the roots need to go down deep. Okay, so I'm going to do some of these.
Okay.
All right, so these are collard greens, and I'm going to scoop out the corner here because you don't want them to like be really close together. Take your pot, take this out, put it down, and then press it down in. Okay, that's one. Let's do the second one here.
Okay. All right. So we got all our spinach and everything in. So we put sunflowers down the middle so that they'll grow up tall, you know, 12, 13 feet, and shade the lettuces at the bottom.
Yeah. Now they probably won't get that big because they're in pots, but they'll be
Well,
tall enough to shade.
Maybe 6 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we had compost, like old food, vegetables, and different things that we put over here to break down, and it. So that's stinking water, and there's solid material at the bottom. Oh, apples, and see all that?
See, that look great.
That is rich soil. So that water from that, we put it in here, and we're gonna feed them with that compost water, which is basically just rotted organic material, and it smells like straight doo-doo.
It should be. Oh, it does. Oh yeah, it does.
But that's good for them. It's full of nitrogen and all the things the plants need to get strong.
Also water these. Make sure you water them once you get them planted as well, so that the roots can start to take, you know, take over. Basically, that's what they do. They just, you know, go all the way through the soil. Now these are bales of Ireland, and I said that these can withstand temperatures of 28. They can actually go to as low as 20 degrees. So these are frost-hardy plants, everything that I've planted outside, because we're still in the month of March. And here I have some bales of Ireland that I planted, and these also are frost-hardy, and they can go to about 20 degrees as well. And I also put in some straw flower seeds here, and straw flower seeds you just place right on top of the soil. You don't want to cover them because they need the light in order to grow. All right, so we got these going, and then let me show you what else we planted out here. Okay, y'all, so in these pots we put in our endive lettuce, and we spaced them out, and then right in the middle there I planted a sunflower that should grow tall enough to shade the lettuce once it starts to grow bigger. Okay, and then up here my husband put here, I think this is kale. We got kale in this pot here. These are gourds here. And then over here we have spinach. And another thing that you want to do is rotate your crops. So last year we had spinach in the pots that I just showed you that had the lettuce in them that are down there. And you want to rotate the crops because sometimes those same pests that you had from the previous years will infest your new seedlings, and you don't want that. So you want to rotate your crops as well.
So we're gonna get this bed ready. Now we're gonna go throw in a whole bag of this soil conditioner.
And then we put in like about a half bag of manure because that's all we had left. But you want to do at least a bag and a half of soil. Well, for these beds, these size beds, it's gonna need probably another bag of soil.
Yeah.
Because it has to fill in. So we're gonna try to do at least one side today, or 3/4 or something.
So we get this worked in. So you can tell the difference from the soil that was stripped out from last year and this new, rich, dark stuff.
You see. So this is like older, even though it still has a nice little color to it.
But this is rich
the
and
new
fresh.
that we're going to use to recondition our soil here.
Yeah, probably need another bag or two, maybe some of that field dirt, but also put in some of this compost that's been brewing since last year.
So this is his part of it that he does, and I just can't take it most of the time.
This is just old food, old lettuce and scraps that we, you know.
That whole apple you gotta take out. If it's like whole food, don't put it in, because then your beds will be infested with roll bugs or the pill bugs. And we had like an infestation last year because they love organic material. And since most of this is broken down, this will be fine. But if you put whole things in here, you will have an infestation of things that like to eat organic matter.
Some shears.
And then they'll eat your plants.
Shears.
Oh well. It's like everything end up in the compost bin. There was probably somebody that we were like trimming something, and it ended up getting put in there with the vegetables.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So then he's gonna work that in with the hoe. We talking about the garden tool here.
Yeah. Hang up my pen pad.
You say you left your pen pad
Nah,
on?
I hung that up.
Oh wow.
All right.
So he's gonna use the hoe in a good way. Get that mixed all in.
This is a root from a sunflower, probably. That's got to come out of there.
Yeah, that's got to come out.
That's a root. That's a sunflower stalk.
So I was digging them up all over here. You know what you want to see when you dig up those roots? Worms. And there were worms all over the roots as I was digging them up, which is great because that means that your beds have worms in them.
And worms aerate.
Yes.
They make it lots of little holes and let the soil get through there.
And then their casings or their poop also helps to...
Yeah, the worm casings. That's protein.
Mm-hmm. And it also gets rid of some pests also.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just going to work this in, and then we're going to put cauliflower along the front of this bed here. And that's next. Okay, so we got some kamatsuna planted back here, and then we did a complete row of cauliflower. As you can see there. And then over there we have some collard greens, and those are going to be pretty much shaded right here in this corner, so that'll be nice. Okay, and then we have all this space here in the middle, and then in the back will be a row of sunflowers. So we got this pretty much laid out, this bed back here. I am not sure what I'm gonna put in the middle there yet, but it's gonna be something good. All right. Let's do a quick checkup on the flowers that we transplanted yesterday. Now, I just went around and watered them, okay? And so these look spectacular. These are my bells of Ireland that I planted here. We have our kamatsuna, spinach, collard greens, kale, spinach, kamatsuna. They're looking really good here. Now let's go over here. See those gourds? We got our endive. That is looking mighty spectacular. And then over here also, we have our endive. My husband planted this. Okay, so we're gonna walk on up this way. All right, and then in our little pots here, we have our spinach, more spinach. We're gonna be eating spinach like we pop up in here. And then over on this side, we have kale. So we are gonna be some healthy folks come harvest time. All right, that's just a quick checkup on all of the things that we planted here yesterday. Like, share, and subscribe. All right, y'all, we're on the bumpy streets of St. Louis. And so we've been doing, well, I did one true crime. I'm gonna make this a thing because I actually like doing this true crime thing. So like I might throw a little true crime one in there every now and then. And that's what this one is gonna be today, okay? So, did you know that at one time St. Louis was known as the kidnapping capital of America? Did you? I didn't know. I was like, oh my gosh, what? Now, in the 1930s, like during the Great Depression, a lot of people were struggling here in the city and around the nation, and they turned to kidnapping to make ends meet.
Side hustle, huh?
It was a side hustle. And now a lot of people that lived in like affluent areas like the Central West End actually would take out kidnapping insurance for themselves and their families because they never knew. You never knew what might be going on. Somebody might be following you, they snatch you and it'd be over. You know what I'm saying? So they was taking out kidnapping insurance.
We don't condone kidnapping.
We do not.
Disclaimer.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give you the story of a kidnapping that happened here with one of the affluent families of St. Louis, and that is the Bush family. Okay. Now, as I was saying, during the 1930s, people got desperate because that was during the time of the Great Depression. And on New Year's Eve, Adolphus Bush Ortwine, who was 13 years old, he was the grandson of Anheuser-Busch's owner, August A. Bush Sr., was kidnapped in a bizarre and high-profile event that stunned STL. Now, picture it now, okay? At around 6:30 p.m., Adolphus, the 13-year-old, was being driven from his grandfather's estate, Huntley Heights, or Huntley Village Estates, and that is now what we know as Plaza Frontenac. He was being driven from his estate to his grandfather's estate, which is right down the road here at Grant's Farm. And they were having a nice New Year's party, you know, as they do. They were going to have a nice dinner. Now, as the limousine was pulling out of the entrance of the Huntsville Village, somebody hopped on top of the car and they had a weapon with them. Now, they forced the limousine driver to pull over. They forced him out and they took control of the vehicle. They drove the 13-year-old boy to a home in Webster Groves and held him captive in a kitchen with a bag over his head for over 20 hours. Now, the man that kidnapped him was named Charles Abernathy. And he was like just a guy that was on hard times. His real estate business had basically crashed with the Great Depression, and he had 7 children and a wife that he needed to feed. And he didn't know what he was going to do to get the money to feed his family. So he figured, why not try this kidnapping? Now, Charles Abernathy was actually a black man.
Yeah.
And he held the boy in the kitchen. And he even, that next morning, he was feeling guilty. So the next morning, he fixed this boy eggs. Now, the boy was like, I don't want to eat it because he felt that the food was dirty. I don't know exactly what that means. But he refused to eat the food. Now, at noon on New Year's Day, Charles Abernathy's father, Pearl, made a call to Bush's father, saying, as a father to another father, I want to give you your boy back. And Bush was released unharmed after 20 hours in captivity, and they released him on a country road near his home. No ransom was paid, and the Bushes were like, we don't want to press charges, and they even offered the people a job at their facility. Now, the police was like, nope, we're not going with that, and they pursued the kidnappers. Now, they chased Abernathy all the way to Kansas City, Missouri, and they got him, and he actually confessed. And despite the family not wanting to press charges, they basically convicted him of kidnapping, and he was given a 15-year sentence. He served 8 years in prison for the kidnapping, and then he was paroled. He got out of prison. He didn't commit any other crimes, and he ended up dying of heart failure at the age of 60 in 1963. Now, Adolphus Bush Ortwine lived to be 96 years old, dying on November of 2013. His children say that he often talked about the kidnapping. And he said that even though he was afraid and he felt like that changed his life a bit, you know, how he went about life, he said he held no grudges towards the man that kidnapped him.
Well, that was nice. And it was nice of the Bushes to offer the people, to offer him a job.
Yeah, and then not to want to press charges also, because I think they understood that during the Great Depression, a lot of people were desperate.
And then themselves came here as, you know, German immigrants.
As poor German immigrants.
Yes, poor German immigrants. They had to build up to making this beer, and so they understood being poor.
So, yeah, we were the kidnapping capital of America, St. Louis, and there were a lot of kidnappings that were going on during that time. But that was one of the main ones because it was involving the Bush family.
Right.
So, all right, y'all, that was another true crime story. Down and done. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we cruise in these fine streets of St. Louis here.